So welcome back guys. Today in this session we will be talking about the iodine, right? Iodine namak, iodine salt. So basically there is a program, right, which is actually monitoring that is the National Iodine Deficiency Disorder Control Program, or we shall abbreviate it as NIDDCP, right? So here you can see the logo very well. You might have seen that n number of times in the televisions also, right? There were multiple ads by the government side as well under this program that this is the sign which you have seen on the salt packet as well, and in the in the advertisement as well, right? If you will be seeing that. So this is the logo here which you are seeing, that on the background there is a sea where they are extracting the salt, right? And basically if first of all there is a salt, right? And the salt we are extracting, that is not iodized salt, right? The iodine actually has to mix with it, right? Iodine they need to mix in it, right? So that is the thing over here. And here they are saying that this is the iodine namak, and they are saying keval iodine namak ka prayog kare. It means only use the iodized salt only. Why is it so? Because in India it was seen that there was a deficiency of iodine which was causing the goitre, right? So there were so many cases of goitre which were coming especially in the poverty areas, right? Poverty hidden areas. So that's why they have used this particular logo, and they have increased the production of this, particularly the iodized salt basically, right? And they are saying Shakti or Buddhi ka Rakshak, right? So it is protective for the strength and the wisdom for the person, right? Okay, so that is about the logo which you might be asked. Okay, and here now let's talk about this particular National Iodine Deficiency Disorder Control Program. Okay, so initially what happened is that back in year 1962 there was a program that was National Goitre Control Program, right? You know the goiter, right? In Hindi it is called as Gengar, right? That is the inflammation of this particular part over here basically. National Goiter Control Program, right? That was started, right? That was long back 1962. Then what happened, back in year 1986, after that, right? In 1986 then they introduced this, or it has been modified to the National Iodine Deficiency, right? Iodine Deficiency Disorder Control Program, right? Disorder Control Program, or in short NIDDCP, right? National Iodine Deficiency Disorder Control Program. That was renamed this in the 1986 year, in year 1986. Okay, now there were some targets in our mind, regarding this particular program. What could be the targets? Targets are very simple to understand, that we want there should be, first target, lesser than 5% of the prevalence of iodine deficiency, 5% of prevalence of iodine deficiency disorder in child, right? We want to reduce it less than 5%, right, in child, right? I mean the age of around 10 to 14 years, right? 10 to 14 years, right? Okay, second one, we want to reduce it lesser than 10% prevalence of iodine deficiency disorder in all age groups, okay? Very simple, right? So that these are the two targets which you need to remember: less than 5% in the children, 10 to 14 years, and less than 10% prevalence in all age groups, right? There were some strategies, right, regarding this program. So what are the strategy, right? There are several strategies over here. I am just mentioning some of them over here, which are the important ones. That is the iodization of salt, right? So we wanted to use the iodized salt, right? So that we shall be reducing the incidence of goiter in the community, right? Second thing is the type, what we are using in the iodized salt. So we were mixing the potassium iodate. We were using the potassium iodate or potassium iodide, right? Potassium iodate or potassium iodide, right? Then iodine concentration, if we talk about iodine concentration, right? Iodine concentration in the salt, right? There could be two, when we were manufacturing that, right? When we are manufacturing, then it will be this manufactured salt will be going to the wholesaler and all of these things, then it will be going to the consumer shops, and then it will be provided to the consumers and all of those things, right? So there is a chain, right? So basically at the manufacturing level, right, if you compare the iodized salt at the level of manufacturing and at the level of consumer, right, if you are getting it, so at that point of time the iodization will be decreasing gradually because it is passing from one seller to another one. So at the manufacturing level, they said that the iodized salt concentration, right, the concentration of the iodine in the salt, it should be more than 30 parts per million, more than 30 ppm, and at the consumer level it should be at least more than 50 parts per million, right? So at the manufacturing level, the iodine concentration in the salt should be more than 30 ppm, and at the consumer level it should be around more than 15 ppm, right? So that's what I was trying to telling you over here. Here we are having the two level. One is the manufacturing level where the salt has been mixing it with the iodine. So because it is passing from one seller to the another one, then at last it will be reaching to you. At last it will be reaching to you basically as a consumer, right? And then there is a consumer level, right? Consumer level. So they are simply saying that at the manufacturing level it should be the level of iodine in the salt, it should be more than 30, and at the consumer level it should be at least more than 15 parts per million, because we are knowing about this fact that the iodized salt, iodine concentration in the salt will be reducing as it will be passing from one generation to another, because if the salt will be probably if the salt will be you will be keeping the salt open, right, for a very long period of time, then obviously the iodine will not be remaining in the salt, right? So probably the iodine concentration will be lower. So iodine concentration drastically reduces or the gradually reduces, I would say, if the salt will remain open, right? Okay guys, then we shall be talking about some of the iodine concentration over here, right? And about the about the status of the iodine, that what it can cause, right? So UIC, it means the urinary iodine concentration, right? If the urinary iodine concentration will be lesser than 20, okay, this is a very important table guys, do not underestimate this table. Okay, a lot of MCQs has been asked in the past in the several examinations, right? So lesser than 20 guys, it is insufficient in iodine intake, right? And here we will be seeing that there would be the severe iodine deficiency. Lesser than 20, severe iodine deficiency will be seen. We are talking about the school age children, they are having the age of more than or equal to 6 years, right? Then we are having the 20 to 49 age where also it is insufficient, that will be considered as moderate iodine deficiency, right? And if it is 50 to 99, right, urinary iodine concentration, then it will be considered as again insufficient, because this is lower than 100. We are saying that 100 to 199, 100 to 200 is the adequate or the normal iodine intake. If we talk about the urine iodine concentration, urinary iodine concentration, it should be more than 100. 100 to 200 is the normal range over there, and that's how we'll be calling that as optimal. So 100 to 200 is the range for the optimal iodine intake, right? Then we are having the 200 to 300 also, 200 to 299, that is above requirement. It may pose a risk for the may pose a slight risk of more than adequate normal iodine intake, and it might further lead to hyperthyroidism. But if it is more than 300, then there are more chances of getting it, because it is the excessive range over here, and here the risk of adverse health consequences will be coming, and maybe the patient might be having the iodine induced hyperthyroidism, as I told you, or autoimmune thyroid disease, or maybe the Hashimoto thyroiditis or autoimmune thyroiditis, like that, right? So that is the very important table guys. Please remember these three things over here, very very important for the exam point of view, right? Okay, now once we have talked about that, we shall be talking about, there is an organization guys, there is an organization for this program also, right? And the name of this organization is district at the district level, this is the district goiter control cell. District goiter, as the name suggests, you can see the district is coming, so it is at the district level, district goiter control cell, okay, which is also called as the DGC in short, right? The district goiter control cell is the organization which is controlling this this program, right? Okay, now we shall be talking about the monitoring and the evaluation indicators. Monitoring and the evaluation indicators, right? So let's talk about the monitoring and the evaluation indicators. Here we are talking about some terms, that is, for an example, what is the goiter rate, right? So goiter rate that is one of the monitoring and the evaluation indicator for this particular program over here. They are saying that goiter rate for the chronic or the long term impact indicator, right? So it is the chronic or the long term impact indicator. Second one in the list is the urinary iodine excretion rate, right, or UIE, which I told you, UIE or urinary iodine concentration, urinary iodine excretion rate, right? Which of the following is not the monitoring indicator? Which of the following is not an evaluation indicator in this program? So that could be the question. Third one is the iodine in the household salt, iodine in the houses, right? Fourth one, which we shall talk about over here, that would be the neonatal hypothyroidism rate. Okay, let me tell you that neonatal hypothyroidism rate, basically this is the neonatal hypothyroidism rate. This is the sensitive indicator. This is the sensitive indicator for assessment of National Iodine Deficiency Disorder Control Program. So I am just writing NIDDCP in the community, right? So this is the sensitive indicator, right? If you talk about the iodized salt, this is the process indicator. This is the process, right? So this is the process indicator. Fine. If we talk about the urine iodine excretion rate, so this is the most important indicator, guys. This is the most important indicator, right? This is the most important epidemiological indicator, right? Or the impact indicator, right? So please remember, these are just your MCQ lines, right, which I am just narrating over here, right? So this is the urine iodine excretion rate. So this is the most important indicator. Please remember this one among these all indicators, right? So the fifth one, which we shall write over here, that is the cretinism rate as well, right? So that is also the indicator. So fifth one, that is the cretinism rate, right? So now let's talk about the goiter rate, right? Now let's talk about this goiter rate, some important points. Goiter rate, right? So basically they are asking us the values of the goiter rate. For an example, if it is more than 5%, then we will be calling that as public health issue or the public health problem, right? If it is less than 5%, then it is fine, right? Then it will be considered as, we will start considering that as public health problem, right? If it is between 5 to 19%, I mean if it is increasing, then we will be calling that as minor public health problem, right? And obviously as it will be increasing further, then we will be calling it as moderate, right? Moderate public health problem, then the severe public health problem, right? But what are the values? I'm just I'm just going to tell you about them as well. So if it is 20 to 30%, then in those cases we'll be calling that as moderate public health problem. And then if it is increasing more than 30%, then we will be calling it as more than 30% goiter rate, then we will be calling it as severe public health problem. Less than 5%, it's fine, right? So generally most of the parts of India, right, they are having a goiter rate for lesser than 5% only. It means for now this is not the public health problem, but in some areas it is 5 to 19% as well, right, where this could be the minor public health problem, right? Okay guys, so that was about the National Iodine Deficiency Control Program. Some of the factual points, go through it once and you will be good to go for it, right? Thank you.